Evening, everyone. So tonight I'm going to do a workshop, really, rather than a lesson on Travis picking. So I'll do a bit of Travis picking while I'm waiting for people to come in the room, and then we'll dive straight in. That's a bit of Travis picking. So for those of you that don't know what Travis picking is, I'll explain it briefly to you. So what we do is we divide the guitar horizontally. So the three thick strings, the E, A and D strings, 6, 5 and 4, we play with our thumb. Now the other thing with Travis picking is it's always an alternating thumb stroke as well. So it adds this lovely sort of bass line that we can build upon. Then as a basic Travis pick, our index finger would play the G string, string number 3. String number 2 is played on the middle finger, and then the high E we play on the third finger. Now we do break that rule as we start adding melody, but that is a general setup for a basic Travis pick. Okay, I can see there's some people in the room. There's a couple of people in the room. Evening, thanks for joining, guys. Right. Picking through country styles. Yeah, plenty of people use Travis picking. I went through a phase of picking old synthesizer songs from the 80s and doing Travis pick versions of them. In fact, I've got Yazoo's Only You, which has done really well. It's had a lot of views over the years, that piece. So yeah, absolutely, it's not exclusive to country whatsoever. So yeah, Travis picking. We're going to split the guitar right down the middle. Thumb has its own domain, alternating, and the fingers have a string each. And in this exercise this workshop that I'm doing today, I've got the perfect drill to help you gain digit independence with your Travis picking. So, you know, again, if you've got any questions about Travis picking, or in fact guitar in general, don't forget, get in the comments, guys. Leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer your questions in a live environment. It's what I do best, really. I'm a full-time guitar teacher, so when I can do this one-on-one stuff or interact with you on the messages on the in the chat, that's really good for me. So I'm going to retune quickly. I was in an alternate tuning there. Now, alternate tuning's something else I really like. So if ever you guys want another workshop like this on alternate tunings, just again let me know in the comments. Right, so I think I'm in standard tuning. I'll just double check that. There we go, done. So where are you from? Who's watching from where? I'm in North Wales in the UK. It's really cold tonight. We've got some snow warnings in place. And I live quite rurally as well, so getting snowed in here is a distinct possibility. Okay, so I'm in tune. So what I'll do is I'll play through the exercise to sort of show you how this drill will help you gain digit independence, okay? So as with everything in Travis picking, we start with the thumb only. Then we can add the index finger in, then the second finger, then a Travis pick, and a reverse Travis, a pinch, and a cheeky little riff at the end. Keep the thumb going. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working on tonight. Now, I came up with this idea because I specialise in teaching sort of finger picking and Travis picking. And I was thinking one night, what possible permutations could there be to be able to play pretty much anything Travis picking? So that would be a thumb stroke on its own. That would be a finger stroke or, you know, a couple of fingers on their own. It would be a pinch, thumb and fingers together, or silence. It really can't be anything else. So with that in mind, I set about coming up with this exercise, okay? So if you've got your guitars, I'm going to drop a little tab in the comments now. Hold on. So you can grab this tab. Should pop up anytime soon. So it's a Dropbox download, okay? There we go. So if you guys want to grab that. Hi from Chicago, I've just seen. I'll answer some questions in a bit, guys. Picking works best on certain guitars. Not sure about that, but I'll dig into that for you. We'll have a chat. But for now, if you've got your guitars to hand, I'll talk you through this exercise. So what we're going to do is we're essentially playing a G major chord. But we don't need to play this string number 5, the A string, at the 2nd fret just yet. But I am going to ask you to play that G chord on your middle and your ring finger like this. So the middle finger at the low E string 3rd fret and your ring finger at the 3rd fret of the high E, okay? Leave that there. With your picking hand, place your thumb on the E string, all right? And what we're going to do is just a string skip on the thumb at the moment, okay? So I'm playing the E string and then the D string, just in a nice, slow, timely fashion. Okay? Now, what I've learned over the years of teaching is when we're doing Travis picking and it starts getting more complicated and we're reaching for melody, it's always the thumb that fails. So it's very important that the thumb, it goes on autopilot. It has to know what it's doing. All right. So the one consistent thing throughout all of this exercise is the thumb never stops between those two strings. All right. The thumb's constantly moving. So back on, thumb on, 3 fingers, start with the thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can keep this going for as long as you like. It would be a really great exercise just to play the thumb. Pick your guitar up in front of the TV and just alternate on your thumb like this, okay? But we're going to add the next digit in. So it will be the 1st finger, the one that's hooked onto the G string, ready? And we're going to play it on the offbeat between the thumb strokes. Okay? Now without stopping, let's see if we can add that 2nd finger instead of the 1st finger. You ready? After the next one. Now. Harder than it sounds, guys. Alright, now we'll do a Travis pick. A Travis pick is where we alternate the thumb, but we also alternate the fingers. So that would be thumb 1, thumb 2, like this. Okay. Now we're going to do that in reverse. So thumb 2, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1. Now we're going to do a pinch. So that would be thumb and both fingers at the same time. And then finally, there's a cheeky little riff, the opening riff from The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. I'm not going to explain this to you, but there is a tab there to help you play through it. And then back to thumb only. Now, for the purposes of tonight, if you don't get the Entertainer riff, then what you'll do is just go from the G down to a C. Now when we do a C, I'll stay on it here, we now target string number 5, the A string, but the second string is always the D string. So we're not string skipping anymore, and then we go back to the G, okay? So that would be, or if it's the thumb only, okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. Man, do you know how hard it is to talk and Travis pick at the same time? Right, so again, we'll do a deeper dive and a playthrough on that in a bit, but I'll have a quick look at the comments here, because thanks, guys, there's loads in here. Evening from Chicago, hi, good to see you. Hi, Pam, evening. Action Defense, hi, John, I know John, he's a subscriber. So, yeah, Travis picking works best on certain guitars. No, I mean, I favour acoustic guitar. I was taught to play acoustic guitar. I went for classical lessons on, in fact, a nylon strung acoustic guitar. But there are some really great, I guess, country players, you know, Telecasters. No, I think Travis picking works on anything, really. If it's in 4/4 time, there's always opportunity to turn it into a sort of more folky country style song just by adding Travis picking. That I like Travis picking for that purpose. You can play, you know, top of the charts pop songs in Travis picking, and they immediately take on a much more, you know, in my opinion, credible. You know, they sound more credible. You can strip a song right back to its bare bones played in Travis picking. You'll realise what a great bit of songwriting it was. Like I say, I did a version of Only You, a song from the early 80s, which was very synth orientated in its production. But you know what? When you strip it back to just a Travis pick, it's a wonderful written song. You know, it's very clever. I love it. I'll play it in a bit. Why not? So, yeah. Right. So we'll dive back in. So I said earlier, issues that people experience with Travis picking. It's always the thumb, guys, always without fail. It's the thumb that will fail. So even if you can do all the rest of that exercise, but you're challenged a little bit by doing the Entertainer, watch for the thumb. You'll be looking out for the fingers. You'll be paying attention to the fingers. This really needs to be on autopilot. I mean, if you like, we can dissect that just to show you what I mean. So the bass is just as normal, and all we're doing with the fingers. Now, if we were to do those two separately and subdivide like I like to do on my channel, so we drill the thumb, and then just the fingers. Now, when I've taught this in the past, what your brain is likely to want to do, it doesn't, not the same for everyone, but it tends to want to sort of pinch together, as opposed to okay. So should we have another run through that from the start? Hopefully you've downloaded the tab now. So play the G chord, middle finger, ring finger on the two outside E strings at the 3rd fret. The G string, the B string, and the high E string on these 3 fingers here. In fact, let me see if I can change the camera angle. Okay, so start with just the thumb, nice and slow. Okay, introduce the index finger. Just nice and steady, keep that thumb going. So now we'll do finger 2 instead. Now a Travis pick. Now a reverse Travis. Now we'll do the pinch. And then into the entertainer riff. And more importantly, back to thumb only. Start again, thumb 1. Thumb 2. Travis pick. Reverse Travis. Pinch. Entertainer. Thumb only. So yeah, there we go, guys. How's that feeling? Get in the comments again and let me know. How do you change? Okay, what we're saying. Evening from Shrewsbury. Hi, not too far from me. Hi, Ted. Paul McKenna. How do you... there's some heart emoji in the way of this. I can't quite read it. Let me pop a comment in here. I don't know if I mentioned this is my first live stream. I'm looking on the chat here, Paul McKenna, and for some reason I have a heart emoji blocking off half of what you've written. How do something change the feel of a Travis picking pattern? I'm wondering, are you asking how, like, changing the feel? I mean, one of the things we can do is just kind of add a skip in it. I mentioned earlier about my arrangement of Only You by Yazoo, which is a Travis picked arrangement. So I'll use that as an example to show you. So I'm in drop D tuning for this, guys. Incidentally, if you're interested in learning this arrangement of Only You, I do have the lessons. In fact, at the time I was doing more bite-sized lessons, so it's broken up into about 4 pieces, easily manageable. But I do have lessons up on my channel for this arrangement. But the song is the one that, if you don't know it, you'll know it, yeah? I've just seen that. Thanks, Paul. Dynamics. I'm a big fan of dynamics, as it happens. One of the things I advise all of my students to do, and I'd advise you guys to do, is when you're practicing, is have a portion of your practice playing as quietly as you possibly can, with keeping everything still steady, lovely crystal clear notes, but just quiet, and then dig in, take it up dynamically. I'll play with a bit of sort of dynamic feel. I'll play through this like I said I would, and I'll change the dynamics a little bit. Okay, so we'll start at just sort of a mid-range, picking for velocity. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you're welcome, Paul. Thanks for the question. Sometimes doing a live stream, well, I haven't done one before, but, you know, I'm much more used to teaching people either face-to-face or one-on-one on a computer screen. I do group courses as well, you know, where we're all sat in the same room. So it's quite new for me, this, and, you know, you guys coming in early and dropping comments is kind of helping settle me into this as well. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. So should we jump back into that exercise yet again? We'll just go back into standard tuning. So yeah, don't forget the that arrangement of Only You. There's a free lesson up on my channel for that, guys, if you fancy tackling that one. And the other thing, you know, I reply to every comment on my channel. So if you get in the comments about anything, I'll always get back to you. The comments really help my channel grow, actually. So, you know, they're greatly appreciated. So, yeah. Right, guitar in hand. Should we do it again? G chord. Wide. I tell you what, let's go on the close-up. There we go. So, G chord, middle finger and third finger. Set the hand up first. I don't think I mentioned this before, but when you're finger picking, before you start playing, don't leave the hand hovering, you know. Actually touch the strings that you're going to be plucking. Leave the hand anchored. Now, we don't really play this high E string throughout this until we hit that entertainer riff. So what I do, actually, I anchor two fingers. My ring finger and my pinky go onto the high E string, and that's my anchor. So now my hand can't really travel very far. I'm not guessing what strings I'm plucking. And plucking, you know, it doesn't come from the shoulder or the elbow, or it's minuscule movement. You know, it's coming off this sort of knuckle here on my finger. All right. Same with the thumb. The thing about the thumb is actually to keep it quite stiff. You push through. All right. So here I am. I'm anchored on with these two on the high E string because I'm not playing it. It's also a good, you know, safeguard, isn't it? If I happen to catch the string by mistake. I'm touching the other strings that I'm going to play, so I'm in the right channel. My thumb's ready to go. Okay, minuscule movements on the picking hand. So hopefully you grab the tab for this, but I'll talk you through it again. So we'll start with thumb only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So index finger on the offbeat. Second finger. Travis pick. Reverse Travis. Pinch. Cheeky riff. Back to thumb only. Now notice I've put my fingers back on those strings, ready and waiting. Now what I'll do on this pass through is I won't play the entertainer, I'll just do the bass notes. So hopefully you can join in on that, okay? So starting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. So it's the index finger offbeat first. Second finger. Travis pick. Reverse Travis. Pinch. And keep the thumb going. Now, I nearly forgot not to do the entertainer. Yeah. So how's that feeling, guys? Let me know in the comments. Are you playing along? Yeah, there's a bit of a delay on this, isn't there? So, we're probably reaching the end, I guess, of this little workshop. Hopefully that was useful to you. I'll hang around a few more minutes. Maybe I'll do a bit of playing or something. So if you've got any questions, please feel free, drop them in the comments. I do offer a membership on YouTube where I do some exclusive stuff. You'll get exclusive lessons, exclusive live streams, free tabs, early access to the lessons. The commitment's 1 month. So I've only started this in the last couple of weeks as well. So it's a new thing for me. So yeah, let's play famous Travis Pitt song. I think it's Capo 5, but it's close enough. And a lot of people perhaps don't even realise that this is Travis picking, but Jolene by Dolly Parton. Such an iconic guitar riff as well, isn't it? It's a great bit of playing. But a lot of people don't realise that it's a Travis Pitt song. I guess because it's sitting within a band environment, isn't it? But move that out of the way. So good, isn't it? I mean, what a song. What a riff. It's just, I don't think I'll ever get bored of hearing that or playing it, to be honest. It's wonderful. Let's have a look. What have we got in the comments? Okay, Paul. How do I troubleshoot when the thumb and fingers fall out of sync? So I advise all of my students to subdivide, okay? So that means drill the thumb on its own, drill the fingers on their own, and then merge them, all right? But there are other things we can do, particularly if you're working off a tab or sheet music. But if you're working off a tab, try to read it vertically instead of horizontally, and it just becomes a little bit clearer as to what's happening on each individual beat of the bar. So that could be, it will be a thumb stroke on its own, or thumb and fingers together, or fingers on their own, because it can't be anything else, or the pinching. Doing it very, very slowly, whilst that can feel difficult at first. In fact, it's often, again, I say it often, if you can't play it slow, you'll never play it fast, not comfortably. So really slowing it down and giving your brain chance to catch up with the fingers, or, as the case may be, the other way around, your fingers to catch up with the brain. I see it a lot with students who, they intellectually get it straight away, and then they're shocked when their fingers can't do it. But you have to sort of make these neural pathways between your brain and your fingers. So, you know, give time, slow it right down. If you're working off a tab, try and read it like vertically like this. I find that helps. There's other things as well, you know, when I think about it. I find playing loud and staccato helps my brain process what slot everything drops in. Travis picking's just like that game Connect 4, really, isn't it? You've got all these slots, okay, and something happens in all of them, or this silence. So you're saying about fingers and thumb going out of sync. So that's a pretty tricky phrase, particularly if you're new to Travis picking. You know, that would be a challenge, I would have thought. So when I was coming up with that arrangement, so here's the other thing, you know, I write songs and I come up with arrangements for things. Just because I came up with the arrangement doesn't mean to say I can play it straight away. Often I can't. Just because I wrote it doesn't mean to say I can play it straight away. My ear will tell me where I need to go, or, you know, you feel around, you know where the song's going. It doesn't mean to say I can play it straight away. I still have to practice it. Okay, but one thing I found with Travis picking in particular that really helps me understand it, or helps my brain understand it, is to play it quite loud and staccato. Not pretty, but suddenly, like I say, for me, and it's worked with a number of my students as well, that sort of, it's quite, you know, it's not necessarily pleasant on the ear, but it definitely gives my ear or my brain separation. I hear it much clearer. Let's do it again and see. So I'll play it smooth first, then I'll chop it. So yeah, that's certainly one of the things I would do when things start falling out of sync. And the other thing is overwork the thumb. It's impossible to overwork the thumb. This has to be, you know, it's 10 times the amount of work before you start adding the fingers in. So there's never a bad time to pick your guitar up and play some of the songs you already know and just do the thumb only. Literally just sit and do the thumb only. I like to do a lot of sort of drilling with the TV on. I put documentaries on, usually nature documentaries, perhaps not so exciting, not a lot of music. If you guys, certainly in the UK will, I don't know if anyone from the States is in here, but David Attenborough, you know, his very gentle voice, and I'll put a David Attenborough on and I'll just play the thumb strokes of a whole song on repeat for an hour. Now, if I tried to do that for an hour, it's impossible. You'd switch off, you know, a minute would feel like an hour. But whilst you're sort of building muscle memory, and that's what it is, it's muscle memory. And once that thumb is drilled correctly, it won't go wrong. And you can put all of your efforts into the fingers, you know, into seeking out that melody. So hopefully that answers that for you, Paul. Reverse Travis was easier, much, than straight Travis. That's funny, that, because when I first did a reverse Travis, I struggled. I found it really difficult. Apparently, Homeward Bound, Simon and Garfunkel, Paul Simon, it's a reverse Travis on that. You see a lot of people playing it just as a Travis pick, and I'm not sure you'd really tell that much difference. See, it fell apart there. Yeah, I found the reverse Travis much more difficult than the standard. So yeah, lucky you. Pam saying she found it easier in reverse too. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Jolene. It's great, isn't it? Yeah, Jolene. Thank you, guys. Vicky Riley. When you first start playing guitar, which artist? When I first started playing. Yeah, good question. Jimmy Page, for definite. Mark Knopfler, You know, I picked guitar up when I was about 8 years old, and had a very strict teacher, and I was quite a sensitive little lad, and I didn't do well with him. I only went for a few lessons, then I stopped playing, and around the age of about 12, high school, I guess, I started playing again. So that would have been 1985-ish, and Brothers in Arms had just come out, Dire Straits. So Mark Knopfler was a huge influence on me. In fact, one of the reasons that I don't play with the pick is that I was a Knopfler fan when I was a kid. As it happens, just to bring that story full circle, I then went back at 24 years old to the same guitar teacher and did my classical grades. Got on so well with him. He just had a dry sense of humour that 8-year-old me couldn't, you know, I didn't get it. But when you do classical, you don't play with the pick either. You play with your nails. So then I grew my nails, and I haven't cut my nails in 30 odd years now, or 30 years. I file them and look after them, but I've never ever cut my picking nails for a long time. Yeah, great question. Thanks, Vicky. And I said, yeah, Jimmy Page, one of my guitar heroes. And I look back now, and some of his playing's actually quite sloppy, but I don't know. He's got groove. I've heard rumours that Led Zeppelin are reforming this year and going on tour. So if that's true, I'll see you at one of those gigs. Right. I guess that'll do, guys. Thanks for joining me on my first live stream. I fully intend to do more of these. So again, get in the comments, give me some ideas of what you'd like to see. I've got a ton of tricks up my sleeve, and I can keep pulling these live streams out the bag. But if you've got any particular stuff you want to look at, I'd be delighted to do it for you. And it's nice to get the inspiration from you guys. So until the next time, do your practice. Go and check out some of my lessons. Hit subscribe, hit like. Comments really, really help. And I look forward to doing another live stream real soon. Cheers, guys.